Hi there, my name is John Stevens. I'm pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we are part of the ELCA. And welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text and we tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree, the junk drawer, the kids' room, the garage. You know how we've been doing it. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your week with me in this way. We are looking at the second Sunday of Advent. Holy moly, 2 candles are lit, everything's happening, exciting stuff. Maybe you have children's pageants going on, maybe that's next week, I don't know. But anyway, thank you for the love that you're sharing with your kids and your families and your congregations. You are rocking it, my friends. Thank you so much. Their lives are better for it. All right, we're looking at the second Sunday of Advent. We're looking at the Gospel or the first reading out of Isaiah. We're looking at the Gospel out of Mark. We're looking at it's the beginning of the good news. Yes, so we're looking at beginnings and good news. So, for the narrative lectionary, I've posted a previous video, and I've also underneath on the blog at the website dskidsermons.com. There is a link to another one in 2020, another Dollar Store Children's Sermons video where we explore different, look at Isaiah, looking at the comfort, looking at where we find comfort. Today, the springboard I'm really focusing on is that idea of beginning. It's the beginning of, because if Mark is the beginning of the good news for out of the Gospel of Mark, then it kind of lets us know that there is more of the story that we get to tell. So we as people of God, called to tell the story, we get to tell the story. We hear the beginning of the news, the good news, and then we get to continue the story as the story unfolds. It's an amazing and wonderful task that we've been given, and we get to tell that good news. And so a couple of the springboards is to talk about, so what is good news? What are the things that we consider good news? Maybe you just heard that a friend is going to visit that you haven't seen forever. Maybe your grandpa and grandma, or maybe you've been waiting for a movie to come out. Oh, that's good news. The good news that you're after church, you're going to play with somebody. Talking about kind of exploring, I wonder what good news sounds like. And for Mark, it's good news found in Jesus Christ, that God comes and is among us. For me, good news is found at the table when we come and we take a little bit of bread and some grape juice, bread and some wine, and we believe that God is present there. Good news is that you and me, we're all welcomed around this table. The good news, and maybe so on one of the videos that I'm using, I'm pointing over here like it's over there. One of the videos I'm using for the narrative lectionary looking at Isaiah is a welcome mat. And a welcome mat in its own right is good news, because you're coming up and there's this welcome mat, and the idea that you're trusting that says, when that welcome mat says you are welcome, well, really, the good news is that you are welcome, and you come into the sanctuary, you come into the congregation, you come into this place, and the good news that we hear is that God welcomes us, and then we get to extend that welcome to other people. That good news that God loves you and God loves me, and some days it's hard to act that way, and yet we're called to do that. So those are some of the springboards, looking at things about beginnings, like a beginning of a book. Like you could bring one of your favorite books and go, oh, this is my favorite. Maybe you have a series. And a lot of the kids, I mean, some of the kids, you're getting 2-year-olds, this might be a little there, but you've got kids. I mean, it's like when Harry Potter came out, we've got young kids that were waiting for the next 700-page book to come out. Yeah, but the good news that, there's good news that there's another book coming out. There's good news that the story continues. And that gets into the good news of Jesus Christ, that the story continues, that we get to tell the story. We get to be part of the story. We get to be wrapped into the story. So some of those springboards around that. Looking at good news, looking at beginnings, you could use a rope. You've got a long piece of rope, and you're like, here's a rope. Here's the beginning of the rope. wait a minute. Maybe is this the beginning of the rope? Hold it. Is this the beginning or this is the beginning? Just being silly, the sense, but that something has a beginning and then this is but is that the beginning? I don't know. What? All the idea that in this, the beginning of the good news and that the story continues. So those are the springboards, looking at comforting, looking at welcoming, looking at the welcome mat, looking at beginnings, a story, a movie, a birthday. A birthday is a celebration of a beginning. So all of those little things that we have where we go, this is the beginning. This is the beginning of the good news. And then we get to continue and we get to be the rest and the continuation of the story. All right. Hoping somewhere in that can be a springboard for your own children's sermon. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your week with us and the love you're sharing with your kids and your families and your congregation. Thank you so much. As I'm saying this, I'm realizing the other springboard is to look again, pay attention to the Advent wreath, and you're lighting the second candle. And in that second candle, if you pay attention to the different candles, this is the love candle. Yes, it could be the peace candle, but we had hope, and then love, and then joy, and then peace. But in that sense, where and I don't usually focus on the name of the candle. And this Sunday, I'm really looking at the hope. I'm filming this before the first Sunday of Advent because I'm heading out of town after the first Sunday of Advent. This is I'm going to tell you a little thing here. If you've made it this far, thank you. So I have a friend that says that you can make any story interesting if you end it with, and then I found $20. So I will be, like this tangent that I'm going on, I'll be going, and my wife Sharon will say, John, is this a $20 story? So I realize as I'm talking about the candles and the Advent and the joy, and I don't know, this is a $20 story. The springboard is focusing, maybe you want to focus on the second candle in Advent and talk about what that means for you. All right, we're going to leave it at there. Here's $20. Peace. Thank you so much, and we will see you next week.